I'm so impressed because I've been hearing about your mom and your dad for well over a year and a half now, and loving the stories and following their journey along with yours as well. But I love hearing the stories about your mom and dad dancing and just the things that have changed in their life since you've introduced them to this wonderful wearable light technology. So tell us what you want to,
Oh,
the update and all the new things about Harold. What's going on with
I
him?
do. I want to recap. We started him when back a year and a half ago on in June, and he had back then he had suffered a L1 compression fracture, and he ended up thankfully he didn't have to have surgery, and we had these patches, and during that time we were able to manage his pain, and he was able to heal at super like quickness. I mean, it was super fast. And he got back. And it's so funny. I'm listening to Debbie's testimony about his dad, Rich, and it's like we are so one and the same because my dad just turned 85 and he got back into life. He was back at church. Him and my mom both, they were just basically, she had osteoarthritis and she was just down in the bed all the time. Got him on the patches, and in 5 months, their whole world turned around. But I'm here today to talk about a follow up with my dad because back in October, he suffered another injury. It was an L1 fracture because he had went to go pick my mom up because she had stumbled and fell and tried to pick her up, and he heard a pop, and he called me and he says, Tracy, I think I hurt my back again. And I said, well, let's go take a look and peek at and make sure everything's okay. And he'd been wearing these patches the whole time. And here we are again at 85 years old. He avoided yet another surgery. And he had a little bit of a compression fracture in that other L1. But we were again able to manage his pain. And he had been on like 5 patches and he's down to like 4 now. He takes the X39, the X49, the Eon, and the Carnosine. And let me tell you something, it's been a game changer because today we had a teledoc with this doctor going over labs that we just had last week. And so I took him to go get labs. He goes to the VA, and we've been watching blood work. I love when he goes and gets panels because I get to see him and I get to see the proof of how he's improving little by little. And again, it blew my mind that him being 85 years old, y'all, he is still like, he even being older, his body is regenerating super fast with these patches. It is unheard of. So again, we was listening to the doctor today, and I was like so blown away. He's not on a whole lot of medication. He's on a very little small blood pressure pill, and he's on a little bit of a blood sugar pill. And y'all, let me tell you, probably in another 6 months, he's going to be completely off everything because every bit of his blood work came back normal. His triglycerides, his cholesterol, his blood pressure, everything did. And when I tell you, like, what was really intriguing because he started out a year ago, his A1C and his blood sugar. And if you know anything about that number, it's the hardest number to get down and to make move. And so he started out at 8.6 A1C. And in 5 months, he had a panel done and it dropped down to 7.1. Well, this morning, just today, I looked and I heard him say, the A1C looks really good. You're coming on down. It's literally, and I wrote down 6.5. So literally, he don't even need that little corner of or little quarter of a blood sugar med. So we're going to work with his doctor, and we're going to see if we can't maybe come off of that, And he's just doing so well, and he's healing so fast. But he couldn't have done this without these patches. He and my mom both have had incredible results and test results. My dad, we went over the little I guess it was the bone density part of his scan, and he said, well, you're 84 or 85, Mr. Mabry. And he was talking to him, and he says, you're not quite what they call osteopenia. I think I'm saying that right. It's
Right?
before you get diagnosed with osteoporosis, and it's a progression. He says, well, you're really not even that. Can't even say that you're osteopenia because you're still like a +1. And if you know the numbers, that's a great normal range for an 85-year-old man who's supposed to have some type of deterioration, right? So when I tell you, like, these have been a game changer, this has been a game changer. And we have had so much fun watching these test results come back, and just his life getting back to normal. Like before he had this second injury, he was back in the gym and he was going dancing with my mom, and he was going back to church and was able to, go to the ball game and sit for 2 hours at a ball game. And he just doing those things he enjoyed doing. But I'll tell you this, I will be back in probably a few more months just to give you an update, because right now he is in no pain at all. And the second back injury, second vertebrae compression fractures, and he's healed. He's healed. We thought we were going to be advised to, there was a little procedure where, and I forgot what you call it, I won't even butcher the name, but it's where you put the cement in between the vertebrae to stabilize that vertebrae. Well, they come back and said after the MRI, he says, well, you're not a candidate because your bone's already healed. This is an 85-year-old man. His bones are supposed to take at least 8 weeks to heal. And y'all, it healed in 3 weeks. From the time of the injury to the MRI was almost about 3.5 weeks. And they had already healed. So he says, well, you don't need that. So, if you need to get out of pain or something like that, we can think about a steroid shot. But y'all, this is huge when you see, and you're probably like me, like you've had loved ones, I've had cousins and I've had grandmothers, that have passed away. And I would think, golly, I wished I had these patches when they were around. Well, I've got them now,